Unfortunately, Dolly had developed some respiratory problems and she passed away in 2011. So George was, but he wanted to stay there and he wanted to be on it. He's a very independent guy and he really enjoyed living there. So I became more involved in his life and taking care of him, helping him out. I was like his aide at that time, and we spent a lot of time there going over and doing things. He wanted to be independent. He wanted to stay on his own. He didn't want to go into a senior home or anything else, even though Dr. Smith was his doctor, and he's become good friends with Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, as George had fallen once and he was in the hospital, we had to talk about what we could do, and we decided that, well, we'd do with George, we'd keep him there as long as we could, so he wanted to stay there, and just do whatever we could to make sure that he was taken care of, and that he was safe. So he spent another 5-6 years there enjoying it, met people in the neighborhood. He met Jock one time over at the fresh market, and different people that came into the building. The Holly Burrow is a great building, very much like a family, and he really enjoyed being there, and he really liked Fred, because Fred was the head of the council there. And he would always be having projects and getting stuff done. And George said to me, I'm not sure exactly what Fred's doing right now, but it's working, and the place is great and taken care of, so I'm 100% behind whatever he's doing. So he really liked that. And he met all kinds of people that were there. The original group there became like a very sort of a close-knit little family. And he did love to tell his stories. But then his balance was getting to be a bit of a problem. His eyesight wasn't good, so I started to research around the area for different places where George might be able to go to. He talked initially about going to the Hollyburn, because he had friends who were in there, and with Kiwanis they were always going into these places to helping out with some projects and things that they could do. But it was a little bit of an older style place, and I said, George, I don't know if you're going to like that. And then we heard about this new place which had opened up, which is part of the Amateur group, and that was Maison. That's located just on Taylor Way and Keith Road. And I went down and looked at it, met the people there, was very impressed with it. So I said, George, I think we got to go down and have lunch with these people. And he said, well, he wasn't most excited about it, but he said, okay. So we went down there, we had lunch with the people there, and he really quite liked it. It's a very nice place. They built it. It has 5 floors, 3 are for the 3rd and 4th and 5th. 3rd and 4th are for assisted living. 5th is one of the first of the new places to have a memory care. George was starting to have trouble with his memory and had a oncoming bit of dementia, so his memory was getting to be a bit of a problem. But they built it with all kinds of super windows, a great view. Facing to the south, wide walkways, the rooms are nice, it's very nice. And he really started to enjoy living there. They have a chef on hand, the meals are like in a dining room, and so he was starting to make friends there and really enjoying it. In fact, he stood me up a couple of times there when I went to go there, because he had taken off with Taylor. And I said, what's going on here, George? And he said, well, I told him I was coming, but he's gone with Taylor. And Taylor was one of the coordinators that worked there, and she drove the bus. And funny enough, George and Taylor's birthdays were on the same day, July 18th. So Taylor would take him, and George, he was on every bus ride. Sometimes she'd take him out twice a day, once a day usually, and he'd jump on the bus. Whatever was going, he wanted to be on the bus and make that trip too. So it was quite a thing. So I got on Taylor's mailing list, and so she gave me a copy of the schedule then. So I'd still come in on the days, but I just wouldn't be there when the bus ride was still going on. So and it's amazing the things that happen and the way they happen. George had some other problems, but they seemed to be minor. But on July 9th, he had just come back, and in fact, Gladys had come down to visit him. We lost Ivor Gladys's husband about 5 months ago. George and I went to the funeral, so Gladys was recovering from that. And she hadn't seen George in about 3-4 months, so she phoned and she came down to see George on the 9th. And they were sitting there and talking, and then George all of a sudden just grabbed his chest and, went over. Gladys' background is in nursing, so she knew exactly what to do right away. And but he was gone, very, very quickly. No pain, no nothing, which is the way that George would have liked to have gone. He doesn't want to go, but if you got to go, that's the best way that he thinks that you can go. He was 92 years, 356 days. So it was sad, but like I say, if you're going to go somewhere, you're going to have to go, and that's the way that you kind of like to go. George had a really inquisitive nature, and we had so he followed everything that he could, the paper, politics, what was going on, and the market. And we sort of used, one of the things that we did in the market was we used the old bear trick in the market. And what that was, these two guys are out hunting, and they're traveling through the bush, and they come around a corner, and down the road they see 100, 200 yards down the road, there's this big bear, and he takes a look at them, and they take a look at the bear, and the bear starts charging towards them. So the two guys are standing there and look at him. One buddy rips off his pack sack and opens it up real quick and takes out his mighty runners. And he's busy lacing up his runners and everything else, and his buddy looks at him. He says, well, what are you doing? We can't outrun the bear. And he says, I can't outrun the bear, but I can outrun you. So that was sort of the way that we looked at the market. You're not going to win on all of them. You got to pick the ones that are worth it. And if you can do better than the average you're doing, then you can do okay in the market. So George liked to do that. I'm looking at the American market right now, and I said, a lot of stocks. He said, yeah, there's over 8,000, but he'd be down there every morning. He'd get up, watch CNN and Bloomberg, and he'd whittle a few more off and get it down. And then, he didn't make many trades and everything else, but the ones he did okay on. So we did well, and we enjoyed doing that. And we went down to, we saw Mark Armstrong and Larry Berman, and the different people who put on these conferences and everything down at the Hotel Vancouver, and followed Michael Campbell, and he just liked to follow. He just liked to be involved. He liked to be challenged in whatever he was doing. Computers were another thing with George. He always wanted and liked to play around with them, and computers came along, so he said, I guess I got to try and learn some stuff about computers. Which is pretty good for a guy in his 70s and 80s. There aren't that many people who are capable of sort of starting out. And so he started out with his computer, and he always thought I was a genius at it because I knew more than he did. He always say to me, he said, why am I so dumb? And I said, George, this was not brought along in your generation. You never see anything like this before. And I said, I appreciate you thinking that I'm a genius, but I'm not. I'm just a guy who knows how to run them, and I got friends, and depending on what problem we ran into, I'd call one of my friends, and I'd say, George, we got friends here, and we got friends here, and we got friends here. We start here, and if they can solve the problem, we'll use that. Otherwise, we phone the next guy up the line, until we finally got to the guys who had the computer science degree at the university, and they could always finally come up with a solution. But you didn't want to bother them very much. You just bother your friends. But one thing that started going and went to with George was his eyesight a bit. And so when he was pressing the keys and everything else, he'd make a mistake and put the wrong key thing in. Then he might become a little bit frustrated, so he'd do a lot of keys. Well, of course, that doesn't work on a computer, because they're always putting wrong stuff. You even sometimes get in machine language, and I would change it. I'd say, like, George, what have you done here? I couldn't even understand what was going on. So I'd fix things up for him, but he started to find that a little bit frustrating. But he'd done really good in his 70s and 80s. In the 90s, he really liked to sing. He had a great voice. He was a member of the choir when he was a young kid back in London. And he could carry notes. Just in the fact of one of the things that they do at Maison is they have a lot of activities, and one of the things they do is they have sing-along. And the staff there are excellent in getting them involved and everything else. And old George hear him start to carry some of the people because he had a great sense of note. I could carry him just like back in his old days. So then I got him on YouTube, and he loved the set up the program so that he could access YouTube, and then he could sing along with all of the old war songs and people who I wish I could remember the names of all the people that he would go, but he could track down anyone, these famous people back from the 40s and the 50s, and he could track them down. And then he liked Sinatra, he liked the crooners. I'm sure when the odd time we heard Michael Bublé, he liked Michael Bublé because he had a great voice and he loved to sing and he loved music.